On this episode of China Uncensored, China's top actress has disappeared, or maybe has been disappeared. China threatens more tariffs on the U.S. in retaliation for U.S. retaliation. And a virus is infecting millions of Chinese pigs. I guess I'll be taking a break from double-cooked pork. This is China Uncensored. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Chinese superstar actress Fan Bingbing seems to have disappeared. That's Fan Bingbing, who played Blink in X-Men Days of Future Past. She's the highest paid actress in China and the 5th highest paid actress in the world. But since late July, the 36-year-old actress hasn't been seen in public, or really anywhere that people seem to know about. Her Weibo account has been silent. No new dresses, not even a cute cat. There's also no word about why she's gone, but the Chinese internet loves speculation. The current rumor is that she's been abducted by authorities for tax evasion. I mean, she could be chilling on a beach somewhere. We don't know, but in May, a presenter on Chinese state television leaked a pair of contracts that supposedly showed Fan Bingbing double billing for production. Basically, she had 2 contracts covering the same work. The documents appeared to reveal an arrangement known as yin-yang contracts, wherein one contract reflects an actor's actual earnings, while a second, lower figure is submitted to tax authorities. So it's possible she's been abducted because authorities plan to use her as a warning to other actors. Pay your taxes or else. Fan's disappearance is probably less dire than that of the thousands of human rights lawyers, religious believers, and other dissidents who are disappeared on a regular basis by the Communist Party. But it does show the overall repressiveness of the system in China. After all, if Kim Kardashian or Beyonce wasn't seen in public for 2 months, no one would think they were being secretly held by the U.S. government. Too bad Fan Bingbing can't teleport her way out of detention. In a move that's been a long time in the making, the U.S. Justice Department is requiring China's 2 biggest state-run media companies, Xinhua and China Global Television Network, to register as foreign agents. Over the past year, 2 Russian outlets, RT and Sputnik, have also been required to register as foreign agents. What this means is there'll be more limitations to press credentials for all these media. They'll have less access to lawmakers and other U.S. officials. This is causing a bit of a debate. There are the free speech activists who don't like the government deciding what counts as journalism and what counts as propaganda. Then there's national security experts who are happy these state-backed propaganda outlets are getting a little more scrutiny. The law in question is the Foreign Agents Registration Act. It was created in 1938 to tackle covert Nazi propaganda in the U.S., but it was rarely used after World War II, until recently. Of course, state-run China Daily, whose distribution company has long been registered as a foreign agent, has not been that inconvenienced. Why, you can see their newspaper boxes dotting the streets of major U.S. cities like New York. China is retaliating in the trade war with new tariffs on $60 billion of American goods, which is a predictable response to the U.S.'s response to China's earlier response to the original U.S. tariffs, which were a response to China being a big fat cheater. President Trump commented on China's latest tariffs, saying, "If there's retaliation against our farmers and our industrial workers and our ranchers, if any of that goes on, we are going to kick in another $257 billion. We don't want to do it, but we'll probably have no choice." Later, he clarified he actually meant $267 billion. Anyway, it's not exactly tit for tat. Since the U.S. buys more from China than China buys from the U.S. is able to hit China with bigger tariffs. And if the new tariffs Trump is threatening go into effect, tariffs would cover the majority of all U.S.-China trade. So for all of you who wanted to boycott made-in-China products, looks like a lot more people will be forced to join you. A deadly African swine fever is sweeping across at least 7 Chinese provinces. The virus has killed at least 40,000 pigs. It's become a major disruption to China's pork industry. And more importantly, it's super gross. And not gross in a cool way like that glow-in-the-dark pork from a few years ago. The good news is that the swine fever outbreak is way too big to cover up. so it's forced Chinese authorities to address it and state media to report on it. But just to be clear, state-run media says it's an African swine fever. And it's happening despite China's strict controls. And again, please remember that this is not some kind of Chinese disease. It's been circulating in neighboring countries for a long time. The virus can apparently live in pork products, including ham and salami, for a month or more. And one of the reasons the infection has spread globally is that pigs can become infected if they eat contaminated food scraps. Wait, does this mean pigs are eating pork? Well, at least they're not forcing Muslims to eat pork. Oh, there is one piece of good news though. The virus only kills pigs and not humans. So while pork prices in China are going up, because so much of the supply is dying, at least it's still safe to eat bacon. Well, as safe as it ever was. And finally, a nightmare incident between Chinese tourists and Swedish police, at least according to state-run media. A Chinese family of 3 tried to check into a hotel in Stockholm, but apparently hadn't made reservations for that night. So the hotel staff turned them away. The Chinese family refused to leave and insisted on sleeping in the lobby. So the staff called the police, who used what the Chinese Sun describes as excessive violence on the family. See for yourself.
This is a killing! This is killing!
It's basically murder. Just look at this cry for help. Wow, he could be a professional soccer player. All of this, of course, has blown up massively on the Chinese internet. And China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has expressed concern about the safety and legitimate rights of all Chinese citizens visiting Sweden. Which makes sense. No one treats Chinese citizens worse than the police in Sweden. And before you go, it's that time when I answer a question from China Uncensored fans who support the show on Patreon, the crowdfunding website. Uchida O asks, while Tibet is strategically advantageous, wouldn't a complete pullout go a long way to making it appear as though China is interested in human rights and democracy? What do you guys think it would take for the CCP to relinquish Tibet? Well, unfortunately for the people of Tibet, the Chinese Communist Party will never, ever let Tibet go. It's too strategically valuable. For one, there's gold in them there hills, or at least a variety of minerals and rare earth metals. Then there's the border security that comes with controlling Tibet. It's impossible to move an army through the Himalayas. But if the Chinese Communist Party didn't control Tibet, then it wouldn't have the Himalayas to protect China's western border. And then there's the fact that most of Asia's rivers start in Tibet. That gives whoever controls Tibet tremendous power over all the surrounding nations. If the Communist Party gave up Tibet, then someone else would control the source of these rivers, including China's rivers. If you'd like to learn more about this topic, see our episode, Why China Will Never Allow a Free Tibet. Link is below. Thanks for your question, Uchida. And if you want to see your question on the show, become a member of the China Uncensored 50-cent Army on Patreon for as little as $1 per episode. Link is below. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time. Well, sorry to say, that's the end of another China Uncensored. But this isn't goodbye. Hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you know when we have more episodes. And more episodes we will have. A new one comes out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday.